Cowboys Nation, listen up, because we've got to talk about what's really going on in Dallas right now. The mood around this team is rough. Fans are frustrated, tired, and honestly, it feels like everyone's just been thrown face first into the pavement after another gut punch of a performance. But while the dust is still settling, the Dallas Cowboys front office finally decided to make a move, an actual move that might help shift this defense in the right direction. This isn't some throwaway rumor or meaningless shuffle. The Cowboys went out and traded for Cincinnati Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson, and whether you want to believe it or not, that's a strong move. I know some of y'all are sitting there ready to jump in the comments, arms crossed, typing about how this doesn't change anything. But let's slow down for a second and actually look at what this means. The Cowboys just got a starting caliber linebacker for basically pocket change. A 7th-round pick. That's it. We're talking about a proven guy, someone who's logged over 100 tackles in 3 of the last 4 seasons. And the 1 year he didn't? He was 2 tackles short. That's consistency, that's production, and that's experience. Exactly the kind of thing this defense has been desperate for. Logan Wilson isn't a patch-up project or a player coming off the scrap heap hoping for one more shot. This isn't some experiment or gamble. He's a legitimate linebacker who's already signed a second contract with the team that drafted him, which tells you a lot. You don't give second deals to guys who can't play. You don't hand out multi-year extensions unless a player's shown he can handle the physical and mental side of professional football. Wilson can cover, he can play the run, and he's got the kind of awareness this defense has been missing since the injuries piled up. And yet, somehow, there are fans mad about this. That blows my mind. You complain all season that the front office doesn't do enough to fix things, that Jerry and Steven sit on their hands, that they never make in-season adjustments. Then, when they finally make a move to try to strengthen a weak spot, some of y'all act like they just traded away Micah Parsons for a kicker. Come on, man. Be serious. This move doesn't fix everything, but it's a step, a real one, toward improvement. Now, let's be clear, one player isn't going to save this defense. Logan Wilson alone isn't turning the Cowboys into the 1985 Bears. But team building in the NFL isn't about one massive, flashy move. It's about stacking smart, calculated decisions that make the roster stronger piece by piece. Wilson brings stability to a position group that has been struggling to stay healthy and consistent. He brings reliability, leadership, and, most importantly, he brings production. He knows how to find the football, he knows how to wrap up, and he's the type of player who makes everyone around him a little bit better. What frustrates me the most isn't even the losing. It's the mindset from some fans that the Cowboys should just throw in the towel. That's not how you build a contender. That's not how you operate if you care about long-term success. Just close up shop, some people say. We suck anyway. That's loser talk, straight up. You don't just give up mid-season because things aren't going perfectly. You look at what's not working, you make moves, you experiment, you keep trying to get better. Because if you're not improving now, you're falling behind for later. Look at Philadelphia. Yeah, I said it. The Eagles and Howie Roseman make a ton of moves, and not all of them work out. In fact, most don't. But they keep trying. They play by the law of volume. They'll make 10 trades if 2 of them make the team better. That's how aggressive front offices operate. Meanwhile, Cowboys fans are out here crying about a 7th-round pick like we just mortgaged the future. When's the last time a 7th-round pick turned into a game-changing star for this team? Exactly. You're not losing anything. You're gaining a player who's ready to contribute right now, and who's under contract for multiple years. That's another huge part of this. Logan Wilson isn't a rental. He's signed through 2027. You're not just bringing him in for a handful of games and then watching him walk away in free agency. You're adding someone who can be a building block, a foundation piece for the next couple of seasons. That's the kind of forward thinking the Cowboys have been missing for years, adding talent with an eye on both the present and the future. And honestly, this front office needed to make this kind of statement. They've been criticized forever for sitting still, for waiting until the offseason to make changes, for refusing to adapt when things go south. This move says they're at least trying to take responsibility, that they recognize the defense needs help now, not 6 months from now. The trade deadline exists for a reason, and smart teams take advantage of it. Waiting for the offseason is like saying you'll fix a leaking roof after it rains for 3 straight months. By then, the damage is already done. The Cowboys still need more moves like this. 2 more, at least. They can't stop here. The defense is begging for reinforcements, especially in the front seven and the secondary. Wilson helps, but he can't cover every weakness on his own. You need volume. You need multiple guys who can come in, compete, and push this defense to be better. That's how you change the culture. That's how you stop the bleeding. I get that the losses have drained the fan base. Trust me, I feel it too. Watching this team collapse in big moments is exhausting. It hurts. But being angry doesn't mean giving up. It means demanding action, and this trade is action. It's not perfect, it's not magic, but it's something. And something is better than the nothing we've been watching for weeks. You can't call yourself a real fan if you're rooting for inaction. You can't say you want this team to compete and then turn around and criticize them for trying to improve. That's backwards. Progress doesn't happen when you sit still. It happens when you take risks, even small ones, and keep grinding to find solutions. If anything, this move should light a fire under everyone in that locker room. It's a signal that no one's job is safe, that the front office is paying attention, and that there's still some belief left in salvaging what's left of this season. Because even if this year doesn't end in a playoff run, you build habits now. You build identity now. You start improving now so you don't have to start from scratch later. Logan Wilson isn't here to save the Cowboys. He's here to help stabilize a defense that's been spiraling. He's here to bring some toughness, some edge, some reliability. And if this front office is serious about staying competitive, they won't stop here. They'll keep looking for ways to get better, no matter how ugly the standings look. Because that's what real teams do. They don't fold when things get hard. They keep fighting. They keep improving. So yeah, you can stay mad if you want, but don't act like this isn't a good move. It is. It's smart, it's low risk, and it's exactly the kind of roster building this team needs. The Cowboys didn't give up much, and they got a guy who can actually play. That's a win. Maybe not the kind that shows up in the standings yet, but a win for the mindset, for the culture, and for everyone tired of watching this team stand still while the rest of the league keeps evolving. Here's what some of you still don't seem to understand, Cowboys Nation. Building a football team doesn't stop when the season starts. The work never ends. Improvement is a year-round process, not something that magically happens when free agency opens or when the draft rolls around. If the front office sees an opportunity to get better right now, in the middle of the grind, then you take that shot. You don't wait for the perfect moment, because there is no perfect moment in football. You fix what you can while it's still fixable. That's exactly what the Cowboys are trying to do by bringing in Logan Wilson. People keep saying, "Oh, what's the point? The season's basically over." That's the most defeatist attitude possible. Even if this team isn't destined to make a playoff push, every move you make now lays a foundation for the next run. Every trade, every roster tweak, every adjustment in the locker room adds up. You don't just quit because the record looks bad. You keep working because that's how you build habits. That's how you create a culture that doesn't fold when things get tough. The great franchises don't just rebuild in the offseason. They reload constantly, finding ways to get stronger, even in November. Logan Wilson isn't a superstar, and nobody's pretending he is. But he's a guy who knows how to play professional football the right way. He's disciplined, he's smart, and he understands angles and reads. Those things matter more than people realize. You can have all the athleticism in the world, but if you don't diagnose plays quickly, or if you're constantly out of position, you're a liability. Wilson's not that. He's steady, and right now, steadiness is exactly what this defense needs. The Cowboys linebackers have been all over the place this year. Missed tackles, blown assignments, confusion on coverage calls. Wilson won't fix it all, but he'll bring structure, and structure creates confidence. Another thing fans aren't thinking about is what this means for the rest of the defense. Adding a player like Wilson doesn't just help at linebacker, it helps everyone around him. The defensive line gets a communicator behind them who knows how to fill gaps. The secondary gets a linebacker who can handle zone coverage and keep plays from breaking into the open field. Suddenly, guys can trust that the man next to them is going to be in the right spot. That kind of trust changes the energy on the field. It turns chaos into control. And look, I get that people are frustrated with the coaching staff, too. There's a lot of heat on this group, some of it deserved, some of it not. But what's clear is that the front office isn't planning to blow it all up mid-season. That's just not realistic. They're going to ride it out and make smaller changes that give the next coach or the next defensive coordinator better tools to work with. Logan Wilson might not be a headline grabber, but he's a building block. If you want a better team next year, you start stacking those blocks now. That's why it's wild to me that some fans are acting like this trade was pointless. Do you really want the team to just sit around doing nothing? Imagine if Jerry Jones came out and said, "Well, we're bad, so we're not going to make any moves." You'd be furious. You'd say he quit. You'd accuse him of not caring. So why are you mad when he actually tries? You can't have it both ways. Either you want a front office that stays aggressive, or you want one that checks out when things get tough. Pick one. The truth is, some of the same fans criticizing this trade are the ones who spend every offseason begging for more action. They scream about how the Eagles are always making trades, always finding ways to add talent, always moving pieces. Then, when the Cowboys do the exact same thing, when they pull off a smart, low-cost deal for a productive player, suddenly it's not enough or too late. That's not logic. That's just frustration talking. And let's be honest about that 7th-round pick everyone's crying over. When's the last time one of those picks became a major difference maker for Dallas? You can probably count them on one hand. Most 7th-rounders don't even make the final roster. So if you can turn a late-round lottery ticket into a proven player who can start for you immediately, that's a good move every single time. The Cowboys got experience and depth for almost nothing. That's how smart teams operate. But again, this can't be the only move. If Dallas wants to turn things around, or at least start pointing in the right direction, this has to be the first of several steps. You need more bodies, more competition, more options for this coaching staff to work with. The defense needs another linebacker, maybe a defensive back, maybe another lineman who can help in rotation. It's about volume and persistence. The front office has to stay active, not reactive. They can't wait for the offseason to start patching up holes when the water's already pouring in now. I think what's really bothering some fans isn't the trade itself, but the realization that this team isn't as close to contending as we thought. It's tough to accept that. The offense has been inconsistent, the defense hasn't lived up to expectations, and the coaching has left a lot to be desired. But that doesn't mean you burn the whole thing down. It means you fix what you can and prepare to fix the rest later. You start now. You keep moving forward, even when it's uncomfortable. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. Rumors are swirling across the league after the NFL abruptly canceled the highly anticipated matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. The official statement cited unforeseen circumstances, but insiders suggest the real reason may be far more explosive than anyone expected. Late last night, mysterious footage reportedly surfaced, sparking a wave of speculation and disbelief among fans and analysts alike. The league's decision came just hours before kickoff, leaving both teams stunned and stadium staff scrambling to contain the situation. Social media erupted as soon as the news broke, with fans demanding answers and wild theories spreading like wildfire. Some claim the new images reveal something that could shake the foundation of the league, while others insist it's all part of a larger cover-up involving player safety or league integrity. Neither the Cowboys organization nor the Cardinals have issued detailed comments. Those sources close to both franchises describe the atmosphere as tense and surreal. Players were reportedly instructed to remain silent until the league's internal review is complete. "Everyone's in the dark," said one anonymous source. Even people inside the building have no idea what's really going on. Speculation ranges from an off-field controversy involving a key player to potential security breaches caught on camera. Whatever the truth, the timing couldn't be worse. The Cowboys were entering a critical stretch of their season, and the Cardinals were desperate to turn things around. For fans, the cancellation feels like a gut punch. As of now, the NFL has promised a full and transparent investigation, but no timeline has been given for when, or if, the game will be rescheduled. Until more details surface, the football world is left buzzing with questions and whispers, wondering what could be so serious that it brought one of the league's biggest games to a complete halt. One thing is certain, this isn't just another postponement. Something big is brewing in the heart of the NFL, and the Cowboys-Cardinals saga might only be the beginning. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.